Good evening, you're watching Breaking News. Both the Trinamool Congress and the BJP have shared videos as evidence to show who's responsible for the violence in West Bengal's Howrah on Navami yesterday. A large police force was also deployed today following more violence between groups in that area. They had in fact gone on a rampage over their different groups, burning vehicles, throwing stones, damaging shops. The BJP shared videos showing some men vandalizing shops and throwing stones at the Rapid Action Force. In videos shared by the Trinamool Congress, the party of Mamata Banerjee, red circles are drawn, as you can see over there, of some men to highlight that guns were there in the violence which took place yesterday on Navami, which apparently took place on an unauthorized route to target and attack one community, is what Mamata Banerjee says. But there are very strong claims and counter claims from either side. Before we begin our debate this evening, let's take a look at what happened on the ground.
An all-out political war in Bengal between the BJP and the ruling TMC, with both parties blaming each other for this communal violence in Howrah on Navami that spilled over to the second day today. This video from Thursday was tweeted by TMC National General Secretary Abhishek Banerjee and appears to show a man part of the Navami procession brandishing a gun. An attempt to create communal tension deliberately, the TMC has alleged. This video was shared by the BJP and appears to show stones being pelted on the Navami procession.
ফুটেজ সামনে বেরিয়ে আসছে যে বন্দুক নিয়ে কোমরে পিস্তল ঝুলিয়ে রামনবমীর মিছিল, তরোয়াল নিয়ে রামনবমীর মিছিল।
Only to save her vote bank, she is doing this type of unethical, unhealthy job in West Bengal. बंगाल का माइनॉरिटी वोट ने ममता जी से खिचक रहा था। अभी जो कर रहा है अपने जो वोट बैंक, वो वोट बैंक को ठीक रखने के लिए हमारी जो पीसफुल जनता है उसके ऊपर ये क्षति ला रहा है।
More than 24 hours after the violence started, a big unanswered question: how did it all start? And why did the violence go out of hand?
Police sources say the Navami procession started very late, way beyond the time the police had suggested in a set of guidelines sent to the organizers. They also say no permission was given, and in fact clarification was sought on the route of the procession as there were concerns about sensitivity.
Police sources say the procession began at around 4 p.m. on Thursday in Howrah. And as it reached a sensitive area in the town, fruit carts were overturned and set on fire. It's not clear by whom. At 5:30 p.m., the first videos of the violence started emerging. This video shows fires burning on the road. This video from around 6 p.m. on Thursday shows the police trying to restore order, even as tension simmered. By Friday morning, a heavy police contingent was out in the area, but violence broke out again. This time stone pelting started after Friday prayers had ended and was brought under control only several hours later with prohibitory orders. Home Minister Amit Shah spoke to Bengal Governor C.V. Ananda Bose. The BJP is moving the High Court demanding an NIA probe. While the situation on the ground may become better soon, a political war over it looks only likely to escalate. With Saurav Gupta, G.D. Shankar and Anirudh Tripathi, Bureau Report, NDTV.
Well, joining us now, Dr. Shashi Panja, Cabinet Minister in the Government of West Bengal, Saurav Shikdar of the BJP, and Monidippa Banerjee, my former colleague. Thank you very much for being with us. Saurav Shikdar, the police documents seem to indicate that you didn't have permission for this procession. How did it actually take place?
Well, if the permission was denied and there was not at all any permission, then how come that this julus has been started? And this is not a new thing in West Bengal. Whenever BJP minded people are asking for permission, this is a trend that permission has been denied.
But permission wasn't denied. You were asked to give certain documents and follow certain guidelines. Why was that not done?
No. Every guideline was maintained, and that incident, whatever happened, it was only provocation from some outsider.
No, but Mr. Sikdar, the rally will start at 2:30 p.m. and be completed by 5 p.m. That was one of the police guidelines. That didn't take place.
No, see, any procession, especially a religious procession or a political procession, normally doesn't completed in the.
No, but the police have asked you to follow that guideline, one among three.
There was no provocation. Neither anything did wrong for this procession, but it was a provocation from TMC itself. You remember, just before the procession, Chief Minister herself said that Muslim area should be avoided. It was on the media in Chief Minister's speech, who is the Home Minister also of West Bengal. Now, why this indication that Muslim area should be avoided? Is there any special rule for Muslim areas?
Okay, let's get an answer to that. Let's get an answer to that. Dr. Shashi Panja, the BJP says that what right do you have to stop them? How should an area determine where they can go with their procession and where they can't go?
Vishnu, good evening, and good evening also to all, including Monika. Now, the point, Vishnu, is very simple. If we all belong to political parties and we have even political rallies, we also have social rallies. We have various issues to take out the procession. It is quite mandatory that we go to the local PS or whichever is the permission giving authority, and we do mention what is the time we take out the procession, how many people are expected to show up in the procession, what is the route which will be followed. Now this is, and then after that we get the permission, because they need to check there are no parallel rallies on that same route, etc., etc. So similarly, any rally, even this was a rally, Ram Navami rally. And I'm at least happy to note from Shobhik Babu that at least he has mentioned that this was a BJP-minded rally. Believe me, I've been joining other shows in which the BJP spokesmen have denied that and said the rally was organized by a NGO, and I had to virtually show this letter.
I didn't say about this one. Normally BJP-minded rally has been denied.
Please allow me to
I'm not interrupting.
Let Dr. Panja finish.
Saurabh ji, we have festivals throughout the year in West Bengal. We are very fortunate. Much as to BJP may deny that. But we start from January Saraswati Puja and we go up till right 25th of December, Bada Din. We do all festivals. So why is it that Ram Navami is so contentious? Why is it on a Ram Navami procession, which was just that the Chief Minister is in charge of the law and order. The police is in charge of the law and order. So they are the permission giving authority. Mamata Banerjee herself today categorically mentioned that she didn't say that no rallies will take place.
Dr. Panja, one
question.
Even if permission hadn't been taken from them, how is it that the state police and your administration didn't know that there's a very sizable procession which is going to go into that area? Where were the police?
No, Vishnuji, you must realize the so-called, there are two processions which finally converged and created all that chaos and went through that route which was requested, that we have festivals just like we have Navratri, Ram Navami. We observe fast. There is also Ramzan happening. They too are observing fast. It is basically to have a peaceful coexistence. For that, you can always lay out certain routes for all of them. So she has not denied permission, just like what has happened in Delhi, Jahangir Puri. It was banned totally. So what we are trying to say is, when they came out, which they should not, in fact, it was also mentioned in the 4 guidelines that there should not be any weapons in the procession. We even saw weapons, brandishing swords. Is that part of Ram Navami? So this cult which took place, and then there were provocative gestures, they were gesticulating movements. There was enough, and then
yet,
that led to vandalism.
The allegation is that these people in this procession were stoned by people in that area. The allegation also that perhaps some of your supporters stoned them.
No, Vishnuji, cutting across everything, Mamata Banerjee has very clearly said that this should be even a BJP TMC. It should not be between any religions. Anyone who does such things are criminals, anti-socials, and they will be arrested and booked for whatever. Now, vandalism cannot be allowed, violence cannot be allowed. Why is BJP, if BJP thinks that this should be condemned, have we even heard even one word of condemnation from them?
One second, Shikdar, reply to all of that. And my question to you is very basic, sort of. Why was a man shown over there with a gun?
Well, I'm answering your question. Just first, Madam Paja, if you just reply me, what happened today then? 144 was imposed. Rapid action force were there. Police were there. Then why re-attack has been happened in some particular houses? Number two, you are talking about this sword and weapons. What about when this Muharram procession came out on the street? Your police didn't then overlooked everything. So if anybody comes with a pistol and firearms, they should be punished, whoever parties he belongs to. But why every time you point out only Hindus procession? In Muharram procession, whole Kolkata knows they come out with weapons in the open road.
Okay, that's a specific question. Dr. Panja, why are you favoring one religion over the other in terms of what they carry? That's the allegation.
Vishnuji, you, me, Mr. Shikdar or Monideepa, we are not anybody who are experts with religious practices, are we? What is the practice of every religion has to be respected. And why are you giving it a communal tone? I mean, why is he trying to say that even we fasted during Ram Navami and Navratri?
No, my question is specific.
No. The point is, what is wrong in having both the festivals in a peaceful coexistence, in a peaceful ecosystem? What is wrong? Why the provocation? Why the pistol? Have you ever seen, Vishnuji, that there are pistols in talwars, swords in Ram Navami?
The point that he is mentioning is that there are weapons also during Muharram processions.
Now,
why has that been allowed?
Then you need to ask the religious priests whether it is part of their culture and the part of the religion. The point is,
swords in a dangerous manner. Is the point that the BJP
you cannot. You have to look into whether they are dummy or whether they are just kind of models or something like that. I cannot get into that. Vishnu, this will get complicated. Don't do that. You see, this is again digressionary. You are digressing. The idea is why I cannot take a valid permission for a rally. Who's obstructing? Mamata Banerjee was appealing that everything should be done peacefully.
Okay, Dr. Panja, half a second. Let's get an independent voice. Monideepa, this is not the first time this has happened. Number one. Number two, it's happened in Howrah in the past. Number three, there are certain parts of Kolkata and Howrah, for example, the Park Street area, then of course Howrah itself, and this particular area, which is very, very sensitive to communal tension. Why?
Well, simply because there's no denying the fact that, there are areas of cities where particular communities have a concentrated presence. For instance, in the Park Circus area, it is a Muslim-dominated area. Historically, it has been so, not lately or not for any specific immediate political reason. It's historically been dominated by the Muslims. So also other parts of the city, Kidirpur, Mominpur, Iqbalpur, these are historically Muslim-dominated cities. Many other parts of the city are dominated by the Hindu population, and I think we have to reconcile to that as a fact. What is the question that is bothering me is these questions about why are Mohammedans allowed to carry swords during Muharram, and now why are Hindus carrying swords during Ram Navami? These questions really are becoming a little irrelevant given that, it's again practice. I remember when Dilip Ghosh set off with swords some 2017, I think, for the first time we saw Ram Navami swords out in the open. There was a hue and cry. there was a demand that, he can't do that, or the BJP cadre who are out on the streets with swords celebrating Ram Navami can't do that because they have to take permission under the Arms Act. But now it has become a regular event. Every Ram Navami since 2017, there doesn't seem to be a problem with the Ram Navami processions carrying swords if they wish. What is bothering me as I sit and watch this situation unfold in Bengal is that, the growing frequency of it. Ever since 2017, it's been escalating. Every year, we are seeing this happen with greater ferocity. We are only talking about Howrah here, but there was tension yesterday in Park Circus, and today there is tension up in North Bengal in Dalpula as well. So, that's something that political parties on both sides should keep in mind. And finally, of course, there's no getting away from the fact that Mamata Banerjee has underlined repeatedly yesterday and today that there was some serious policing failure. Otherwise, this couldn't have happened over 2 days in Howrah, which is just off Kolkata, and the entire force of the police is present there in strength.
Saurav Sikdar, how would you reply to those who say that what we saw yesterday is in fact an extension of the worst of Bengal politics, which has been so violent? The violence which used to exist several decades ago between the left and other political parties has now, left in the Trinamool at one stage, has now been replaced with violence between the Trinamool and the BJP, and that both sides are responsible for extreme violence during elections, for political purposes, and now during religious festivals.
No, unfortunately, every time Hindus has to be compromised. Be it Durga Puja, be it Saraswati Puja, be it Visarjan, or you see just after Durga Puja this year.
But Saurav, to say that Hindus are being compromised on a national channel, at a time when we are trying to suggest that look, we need to go beyond communal politics. Do you think it's wise as a national spokesperson to say?
This is not the communal politics. I am giving you the example. Even some days ago, after Durga Puja, there incident took place in Mominpur, and when NIA came into the picture, whole scenario has been changed. And
but Saurav, is there any dearth of Hindu festivals in West Bengal? Are there not proud Hindu celebrations throughout the year? How are Hindus being marginalized in religious celebrations in our state? They aren't. Quite to the contrary. So when you say that Hindus are being affected and it's part of a deliberate effort, some would suggest that you're pushing a communal agenda. How would you reply to that?
No. I'm just bringing you the facts. Why every time a party, this is a Tushtikaran Rajniti has been encouraged in West Bengal. So because isn't it for a certain vote bank? Isn't it a fear to lose a vote bank after Sagardigi election? So now the thing is, we as a sensible citizen, we have to think about it, because our chief minister is not a Trinamool chief minister. She is a West Bengal chief minister, and she has to take care all the West Bengal people.
All right, Dr. Panja, the point being made is that Mamata Banerjee is playing vote bank politics even over here, supporting one community over the other. That's the BJP's allegation.
There should be, I will not get into their narrative, because that's the only thing they have to say about Hindu appeasement or Muslim appeasement. We don't see it like that. We see it appeasement by way of development and to appease people through services, public services. Now, I'm not getting rhetoric, but the point here is you can link all this. Why BJP stokes violence? Because it's trying to, and why it brings in another narrative is because it's all between development politics and politics of victory. They've lost. Secondly, Vishnuji, we need to also post-mortem 100 such incidents which have taken place all over the country. So are we to understand in Gujarat, for the 4 incidents which took place, or in Maharashtra or in Rajasthan. We need to do a postmortem of all those as to why those also happened. Also, we need to rely on certain statistics which indicate evidence. Like, we have a reply in Parliament by the MOS of Home Affairs that how many incidents of communal riots have taken place between 2016 to 2020. It says 3,400 communal riots. And besides this, rioting is also 51,000 plus. It is a proper official reply in Parliament. So there has been an escalation of communal riots under this regime all over the country ever since it took over in 2014. These are the ones which are indicated. And coming back to West Bengal, if BJP feels that they have not done this, why is there no word of condemnation from them? And why is it that they are trying to bail out or rather go to work for bail for those who have been arrested? Why? So the point is, people will be arrested, it should be investigated. Cutting across whoever, they are antisocials, they are criminals.
Saurabh, is it true that the BJP hasn't condemned the violence?
Yes, no. See, if police has been impartial, so we should not move for bail and all. Police is almost acting as a Trinamool Congress cadre.
No, but Saurabh, has the BJP condemned the violence? I'm sure they would have, right? Who doesn't condemn violence?
Yeah, of course, violence, but that violence is provocated violence. And we also definitely condemn the violence. Nobody support violence. Definitely, we also don't support violence.
Shubhendu Adhikari had a press and he said,
we demand the NIA.
But anyway, ma'am, he seems to have done that. I can't imagine a situation when a political party would not condemn violence.
You can check it out, Vishnu ji.
And that's why we had program. He's done it on this program.
That's very good. I mean, usually we expect it from those who did the press today.
Fair enough, but it's happened now. Let's go beyond that point. It's good that this violence is being condemned.
Absolutely. The point is no appeasement. There's no question of appeasement.
Monifa, just sum this up for us, because it seems to be an extension of the deep political divide which exists in Bengal, which has resulted in so much violence during elections, and as I was saying earlier on, it seems to be an extension now into religious festivals. I mean, how do you see these developments?
Well, I am surprised that I agree with both Mr. Shikdar, who said that the BJP doesn't support violence at all and condemns it, and I appreciate that, as well as Dr. Pancha's statement that we should be looking at the trend of what's happening to the number of communal clashes that we've been having across the country and not just in Bengal. I think that is a very important marker. At the end of the day, Vishnu, I mean, looking at what's happening over the last 2 days, all I can say is that in a very horrible way, the poll bugle for 2024 has been sounded in Bengal. We do know that the BJP has a deep interest in upsetting the government over here, replacing the government here. Definitely, it wants to retain those 18 seats that it won in 2019. So suddenly, Bengal seems in the crosshairs once again, with the election still a year away. I understand that the Home Minister, Mr. Amit Shah, has already called the governor and asked to find out about what's going on in Bengal. The governor is going to be apparently visiting Howrah tomorrow. So all I can say is an escalation of political tensions as a result of Howrah that will probably all snowball into the 2024 polls.
All right. Well, I'd like to thank you all very much for joining us. And it is unfortunate if, communal tensions end up snowballing into the primary political agenda ahead of 2024. God knows our people need development more than anything else. But I'd like to thank you very much for joining us. Again, as I summarize this, the BJP and the Trinamool Congress have contrarian views on just what took place. They provided their own set of videos to suggest their explanation of what exactly took place. At the end of the day, India does not deserve violence one way or the other. Out of time, thank you very much for being with us.